Hey, welcome. In today's video, we will be covering the villain for the week. It's kind of odd now that I've looked at it. It's like some weeks I do like tons of villains, and then other weeks there's like no villains. But yeah, this week we've got at least one villain. So, and this villain is the Mythical Magician. And I remember when I was drawing him, I really didn't know what to do, and I kind of just drew somebody. I had a rough idea of his character design, but to be honest, I had more fun writing out mythical and weird rune language than actually designing the character. But anyway, yeah, here's the original design doodle that I did many years ago, and let us get into his redesign. So let's see here, pull up that video. And so it was interesting initially with this character. I actually had him as a hero, but I was just like, you know what? I need a mythical, like a warlock or an evil magician. And so I was just like, you know what? Let's just turn this one into one of these villain guys. So, and again, his design kind of really didn't change much. I kind of tweaked him a little bit to be more of a mage kind of a feeling guy, but he is most assuredly a warlock. And something else that you'll kind of notice is that I kind of gave him like the squared off. I don't even know what you'd call it. Just kind of this up here, this area right here. You can see I kind of gave him the old pilgrim style medieval kind of sash, and so plays a little bit into his backstory. But yeah, so yeah, did the Mythical Magician. So. And I didn't really incorporate it into his backstory, but some of the idea that I kind of had was that he was a pilgrim, a religious, holy man at some point, and then switched to an evil warlock as a desire for power. And one of the ideas was that I kind of had him switch out his what would be like a cross and holy relics for these weird shaped, triangle shaped and circle shaped and rectangle shaped rune medallions and stuff, so that and then he switched out his main sash with this sash with weird, gothic runes and stuff like that. So, but like his underlying clothing was still very much this, holy pilgrim-ish kind of feeling. So, but yeah. Aside from that, again, initially I wanted him to be a hero, but I was just like, you know what, I need a bad guy for some of these magical heroes that I've got. So he turned out to be the one that got sacrificed to being a villain. So excuse me. But yeah, anywho, I guess we're getting pretty close here. Sometimes I look at this and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm drawing. And then yeah, I made his magic kind of that purple magenta, a little bit on the more the malevolent feeling magic. So rather than doing, green, well, I guess I could have done green, but that kind of would have conveyed more of a mage nature wizard, and I really wanted him to feel kind of more of a menacing. And so, yeah, I gave him kind of a magenta purple magic. So, but yeah, let's just take a peek at his final illustration. So, yeah, there is his final drawing. And, yeah, so once again, there is the Mythical Magician. So let's get into his backstory and powers and abilities. So the Mythical Magician, his background. The background and origin of the Mythical Magician are vague, and what is known has long since morphed into legend. Many believe that this warlock destroyed every record of his existence to ensure that no one could ever rise to his level of power again. From what little is known, his story may have begun at around 7 BC. It is said that a lone pilgrim began visiting remote monasteries across the Orient and the Middle East, seeking secret knowledge of mysticism, the manipulation of reality, and opening of gateways to other realms. During his studies in the Middle East, he is said to have stumbled upon an ancient text a forbidden script thought to have been lost or buried deep beneath the sands of time. Consumed by ambition and new teachings from this text, he opened a portal to the Dream Eater, an act that would single-handedly plunge the world into the Dark Ages. So once again, not a whole lot is known. We don't really even know his real name. He's about 5'10", weighs about 145 pounds. So his powers and abilities. The mythical magician is the very embodiment of the phrase, knowledge is power. Being over 2,000 years old, he has had ample time to amass an unimaginable mystical strength. It took many of the supernatural protectors of life and the Earth's greatest heroes to stop the Dream Eater and the mythical magician centuries ago, with many of them meeting their end at his hand. So he's definitely a tough dude, and he has killed quite a few heroes and supernatural protectors. Bald Boy, a master of the mystic arts himself, has classified the mythical magician as a Class 13 mystic threat, a level denoting near godlike capability. His known abilities include emitting mystic energy beams powerful enough to destroy entire city blocks, resurrection of himself, necromancy, mind control, reality manipulation, and the creation of nearly impenetrable magical barriers, among countless other abilities and powers. So, once again, it's kind of one of those things, if he can think it, he can do it, kind of a thing. So, but yeah, looking at his power stats, once again, he is not very tough. So if you wanted to go up against him in an arm wrestling match, you'd probably win. But again, he's got incredible durability as he is able to summon magical spells that protect him. His speed, he's an average human when it comes to speed, but he does have the ability to teleport and move in that regard. So, his speed might be a little on the other side, but due to the fact that this measures more just his ability to run, he doesn't have great speed in that regard. Or flying, he can hover and stuff, but he doesn't really fly. Again, his intelligence is very high due to his age and being able to learn and all that kind of stuff. And then his power projecting, as mentioned above, he can emit very powerful beams of magic that can destroy, city blocks. So, and then his stamina, reinforcing himself in battles and heavy endurance level things. He can just reinforce himself via magic to ensure that, he doesn't get tired. So, this is one dude not to mess with. So, but yeah, that is the mythical magician. So the villain for this week. So yeah, we'll catch you in tomorrow's video, the last one for this week. And yeah, look forward to week number 5.